All right, good morning, guys. Quick sound check. How's everybody doing this morning? Hello, hello. What's up, Joe? Appreciate that. All right. I don't know, to be honest. I'm still debating it at the moment with like 3 minutes to go until market opens. So I'm kind of I'm kind of leaning towards the idea that we try and go lower initially again, at least come down and get these overnight lows down here, which is like, I mean, 2 seconds ago it was like 200 points away. Now it's about 170 points away. Um, so I'm kind of thinking that's like first priority, if you will, for markets is to go ahead and get down there. Um, on the other hand, I don't know. We have conflicted information here out of the Russell and the Dow compared to Nasdaq and S&Ps as well. Just the way in which the overnight 8:30 news kind of popped there, specifically for the Russell and the Dow. So I'm going to keep an eye on those to see if they stay strong. I don't love. It's easier to look at like IWM. It's like second day move down. I don't love the idea of us going higher here without going lower first again, just to kind of go get those overnight lows, poke through the lows from yesterday, etc. But if and when that can finally happen, and we do get a bit of a bottoming tail and find some support down there, then I think there's a shot that we continue to push higher into and towards the end of the week to go ahead and get those essentially highs that we've left up there at this point. So it's going to be probably a little bit slower here first thing this morning. I am keeping an eye on gold as well here. 43.70, 370s would be, I think, the most ideal spot if we can get there. Now, we've had a pretty impressive rally so far, like 38-point range today. So we need to obviously kind of kick that up a notch and get up through there. I think that more than likely saves itself for tomorrow. I don't know, kind of same thing in silver here. Silver doesn't quite have the same strength, same look to it and feel as gold does this morning. So we'll probably end up avoiding those, but just keeping them on watch. Bonds here still continue to truck lower. I really think this is going to have a big break to the downside. It just has that look and feel. The charts are all like in alignment. Like I can see this thing dropping really, really hard over into like 111s or so over the next couple of days, which would not be a great thing, I don't think, from a overall market, like market overall. I don't know how to phrase that. I think it means that no more rate cuts are probably coming our way. For whatever reason, this has not reacted well to all of that. But yeah, that's what I'm watching for this morning. We might end up doing a couple eval trades later if there's anything to do in there from just a trying to pass a couple accounts type thing, as opposed to risking real funds here if there's really quote unquote nothing to do from a pure risk standpoint. But maybe we'll just put a little bit on from an eval standpoint. We'll see. We'll let this kind of come to us though. After this week. Yeah, the rollover will be complete by Friday, or on Friday essentially. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's OPEX as well. So we're in OPEX futures rollover. It's like a quad witching week basically. What's up, ZV? I think there's gonna be something to do here. Over the next couple of days, and then next week is essentially nada. NASDAQ. I can't even switch between charts at the moment. There we go. 109.2-minute bar to start off the day in the NASDAQ there. We didn't quite trade this 321 quarters here yet for the NASDAQ. S&P's traded from 70s down to like 65s, a quick print back to 70s, and then straight down into 63s there. If you look at like let's see if it's on like a 400 tick chart, you can kind of see it. I was just watching the dome move. We've got good volume, that's the thing. I mean, we're at 429,000 contracts on the new H26 contract. So we have good volume there. Yeah, look at this move. If we look at this on a look at this on like a 400 tick, just so you guys can see it. Let's see if this loads. There we go. Look at this move. So we're 5 minutes into the day at the moment, right? So we've rallied up, we pulled back, we rallied through one more time. We started to sell off back under 69.75s, and we get that little quick sell off into 65s right here. Within a matter of the same minute, we went from 65s back up to trade 69.75s to the tick, and then straight down here into the lows of 62.75s. Like legitimately all of this action from here to right here took place in 1 minute. Russell new highs there. Only market to do so at the moment. The news ain't hit yet, and we're now ripping back up. Yeah, you could certainly chart the SPY, the QQQ, all that stuff this week if you wanted to. It's not necessarily a bad idea. I did it earlier this morning just to kind of see where we were. Like QQQ, if you look at that right now, we got this 610.14 level, which is essentially right here at that 321 level for NASDAQ. I don't trust this rally at the moment. And yeah, we do have news. It is Flash Manufacturing, Flash Services coming up next, 9:45. It would make sense if we sell from 69.75s here. We've got room to 68.12s. It's kind of a little bit far. Dow somehow red bar here. Russell and NASDAQ did make new highs. I think we wait till after that news. I'd hate to put a position on right here and we get like kind of wicked out by some kind of crazy spike. Which so far, Russell is the only one really, NASDAQ a little bit, trying to work back up into that spike high from the 8:30 news. 25, 64, 70s. Russell's about to make new lows on the day. Or no, sorry, Dow is about to make new lows on the day. I don't know about anybody else, but my charts are slow to change. I feel like data this morning is just a little bit slow. S&P is getting hit off that 69.75. NASDAQ still holding somehow. Of the indices, I expected to see the move lower here initially. It wasn't the Dow. The Dow is making that push lower. Mm-hmm. 23-point range here so far for S&Ps. Nice little drop so far off those 69.75s. Russell NASDAQ so far holding the lows at the moment. Doesn't mean there's anything to do in there just yet. We got news in about 2 minutes here now. Maybe S&Ps do want to make that 68.12 push. 45 seconds to go on that news. If y'all could do me a favor and hit that thumbs up on the video, that would be much appreciated, by the way. There's that news. Kind of a non-event so far. You wanted to short the RTY with the IWM. At the moment, it's still holding lows, but I think the S&Ps from 69s was probably the short. There's still a lot of room to go in there. NASDAQ now getting down under those 230s, new lows in there on the day. Some new lows for NASDAQ, new lows for S&P, Dow, but not the Russell. NASDAQ little bobbing tail there now, back over 230s. I think if you wanted to try something, we're super close to opening print, which is the only downfall. But if you wanted to try Russell longs, I don't think that's a bad idea. Looks to me like NASDAQ is going to try and find a bottom here. Well, that was a quick move. Anybody grab that? Top steps down, weekly occurrence. Switch up, dude. Use a different firm. Actually, I tell you what. Let me just confirm it's still active. I'm pretty positive. Pretty positive. Yeah, Lucid's got Lucid's got 50% off for all new users. So if you haven't used Lucid yet, then it's 50% off for a new user. That's a heck of a reversal right there in NASDAQ. News comes out, we get new lows there, and then now rip back. I mean, what is this 2-minute bar right here? 123 points. You got too much money in the accounts, one payout. So you can only take a certain amount with you live. The Lucid Flex, by the way, there is no consistency once you're funded. Any plans for gold today? Yeah, I still like it if we can get up through. If it'll load, thank you. If we can get up through these 73.70s, I still like it. I'm just kind of hoping it saves itself for tomorrow. You know, like it is it really it's already going to be up like, 30 couple points, 36, 37, 38 points up here when we get to 73.70s. So we'll already be up like 1.2, 1.1%, give or take, whatever it is. So do we really have enough in the tank to make the gold move today from there? And if that's the case, if the charts can load, thank you. Silver's not quite there at the moment, I don't think. So I think it's more of like one of those, we let it kind of set up today, trade it long tomorrow type thing for gold. I still have it on, I mean, I have it on watch. I'm not taking it off the screen by any means, but I think that's probably the move. There was something that was going on with the metals yesterday. I talked about it a little bit when we were in Discord. That moved down in gold and silver, like something just wasn't, it wasn't quite right there. So I'm going to give that just the extra day just in case, even if we do get up there today. We got more news at 10? No. Business inventories? No, it don't matter. Yeah, I don't care about that. Stab shorts off 73.70. If we get there early today, we'll wait for the long. I mean, if you got the balls for that, by all means. I'm not a huge fan of shorting the metals at the moment. At some point, yes. At some point, silver is going to have like a $5 or $10 down day and probably hit limits, and it's going to be rather ugly, and people are going to get hurt. But I don't think that's yet. You said, what do you mean you tried some NQ shorts? You talking about earlier for the move down, or like just now? Dow still didn't get new highs yet today. Russell, S&Ps, and NASDAQ did though. Oh, the 940 divergence. Yeah, the flip on the divergence down low is tough. All right, Tyler. Why you trading? Let's come back after New Year's. The thought has crossed my mind. Like I said, I think there's 1 to 2 opportunities potentially this week. I mean, if there's a 250 to 300 point NASDAQ trade on the board for me this week, then I will very much be happy to participate. If that doesn't happen, then so be it. But I do think that we see it. Then that'll probably be the way to end the year. I'm also going to trade a couple evals. And get those passed going into the new year and set up. I opened up one with Take Profit Trader as well. They're a little bit more difficult, but we'll see. You could also look at Tradeify, Raiden, since we were talking about that earlier. Once you move from Top Step, if you were going to move from Top Step, which I would say to move from Top Step personally, just because I'm not their biggest advocate, but you could also look at Tradeify too. The Qs, I think there's an off chance. I think there's an off chance that if we can get back up through this kind of 619, I don't know whether that necessarily happens today, but then I think we see like 625 plus, and maybe the crazy moonshot is that we see 636s. That's the crazy moonshot. I don't know if that'll be this week or not. Yeah, I mean, we can look and see where the open interest is. There's a fair amount at 620. There's a shit ton at 630. 52,000. Well, that's not a terrible idea. I don't know if we're done yet. Snow, Google with an impressive rally back. Try this 5-minute long off NASDAQ. I don't mind it. I'm watching it, but now the Russell and the Dow, they just don't look right. So NASDAQ is pushing though. A little retest of that 321. Nice little 100-point pop or so from there now. Yeah, I think so. Well, so that's what Raiden was mentioning. That's what Top Step runs on is Project X. So yeah, they're having. Let me see. Let's see if anybody's made an announcement. Mm. Oh yeah, they're gonna be doing the migration too. Top one said they're doing migration. Let's see. Um, Tradeify just said we're temporarily halting all PX trading. Please avoid. Please. What? Let me try again. Please avoid trading your PX accounts until further notice. It's unfortunate because I like the platform. Like I mean, I've never changed platforms, and not that I'm going to change consistently from Toss or anything like that, but um, I liked the platform overall. But you just can't beat the reliability of NinjaTrader, Tradeovate. I mean, it's been that way for years. Yeah, PX is Project X. It's one of the data providers for prop firms. Yeah, you can trade your straight to funded on Tradeovate, or you can use Ninja as well. If you just want like the Ninja Dome, like what I use, and then your toss charts like off on the side like normal. Yeah, Tesla. There's a interesting rally out of Google, Tesla, and Snow. I still don't trust markets in general though. This is not cool action. Well, let me take that back. If you're on Project X currently, then you'll have to wait until they migrate you over to use Tradeovate. If you currently already have Tradeovate as the selection for your straight to funded account, then you'll be good to go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd let that be then. Interesting little shimmy there in gold and silver. Dow made new lows there. S&P's traded opening print back to 69s. I would snap a quick picture of that, Joe, just so you have it like showing you in no positions, because they might try and like put you back in the positions. You know what I mean? If the platform shows, if it comes back up. Yeah, I got you. I do like that feature. I have yet to actually use it, but I do like that that feature is there. I could see it being good for the person that like they're up a couple $100 on the day, whatever, and then they're trying to press that and get to like, you know, $1,000 on the day or whatever the number is. If like they have a standard, you know, over $250 or over $300 or whatever the number is each day, they just hit that button and walk away. You obviously got to get them to hit that button first, but gold making that decent little push now. That little shimmy just a couple minutes back. We popped about 4 or 5 points since I said it. Kawasaki two-head, man. Yeah, lockout saves you from doing anything in the afternoon. The PDPT lockout when you meet your goal or number of trades for the day. What you mean? PDPT? That's an acronym I do not know. Oh, really? I didn't know you could do that. So if you set you only want to take 2 trades, it will lock it out. Nice. Personal daily profit target. Oh, nice. So if if you're in the middle of a trade, whatever, it'll just go ahead and close you out once that number hits. Is that what I'm hearing? Because if so, it sounds like you hit your, did you hit your number and that's why it closed you out? Hmm. I kind of don't mind that. I also do like the idea of it letting the trade run, but oh, you're only at 300. Hmm. Let me see if there's anything in there. Status updates. Yeah, 9:47. They sent a message out about it. Mm-hmm. How convenient for a rollover. So you ready for a payout then? $300 got you your payout? This NASDAQ looks like it wants to go back lower. We either hold here off 321s. We kind of in trouble. This is some nonsense at the moment, though, I can tell you that. Man, Emily made some chicken wings yesterday. I'm gonna be having those with a leftover lunch today. $10, $12. Nasdaq sitting right on this 321. S&P's pulled back to opening print there. There's a 13% chance that SpaceX's new ticker will be SEX. They're saying if they're saying if that goes public at the numbers that he's trying to like get it for, he'll be at $1 trillion net worth. Like 950 couple billion basically is like right where he would be. Yeah, no, it's crazy. It is crazy for sure. Emily and I have had like lengthy conversations about whether or not the Tesla robot is worth getting or not. I'm also just kind of like we've done that without like the Alexas and all the other stuff. And it's like we're gonna go straight from none of that. I mean, outside of like obviously Siri and Google and stuff like that on our phone, and then we're gonna get a damn robot. Like that's the thing I gotta fight in the middle of the night if it decides to go freaking crazy on us. To give Elon credit though, he did say that there's like a 20% chance at the moment that the robots at some point decide to kill us all. It's like that's still odds there. I don't like. They're not in my favor. Gold got rejected pretty hard there. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Russell and Dow new lows. Yeah, we got new lows there. Morning lows were 44.40s. We came down and traded 44.20s. S&P's new lows now too. Oh yeah, don't use the M2K. That's gonna be off. It's gonna be off compared to the Russell itself. Yeah, they did. It's funny. I mean, funny, not funny, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think the shorts up there were easy by any means. This could be boring. I mean, we got a 200-point range on the day so far, but if all we're going to do is continue this, which is kind of the same thing we did in the first like 20, 30 minutes, this is now just getting spaced out a little further. Looks like we're going to see a little bit of a rally back here off the new lows. Yo, who y'all got in the fight on Friday? What'd you guys think? Jake Paul or Anthony Joshua? You think a draw? Jake gonna get hurt? Dude. If he doesn't get knocked out, I don't even understand it. Like I don't understand how it's Nasdaq rallies back about 100 points off those lows now. Traded down into 178, currently trading 181s at the moment. What? Personally watching AJ, he can't box. What you mean? What you mean he can't box? Please elaborate. Reminds you of a worse Deontay Wilder. Yeah, but like Homeboy's a 2-time heavyweight champion. So like how do you do that? You know what I mean? Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm confused, honestly, on that one. I mean, I hear what you're saying. I see it. It just ain't. It's not computing. So hold on. Does that mean that you take Jake Paul because Anthony Joshua can't box? All right, what's your take there? That's the question. So like, how do you do that? That's what I want to know. Oh, you think it's KO? You think Jake Paul gets knocked out? Oh, no KO. You think it goes the 10 rounds? Goes the full way. Joshua wins by decision. Thinking Jake Paul's camp took the fight. They know something. Cocaine bench and gonna gas out quick. I don't know. I mean, my like from a pure stat standpoint, from an experience standpoint, from a body build, everything else, I don't see that there's a way that Jake Paul wins that fight, in my opinion. Now, I say that to say Jake Paul works his ass off. And he is putting on a fair amount of weight for him to come up to this class. I don't remember how much weight he had to actually gain, but it's a fair amount of weight, which obviously is going to impact that. Do you have a course on the setups I use? You already know levels. Yeah, it's in the mentorship. All of that's in the mentorship. If you're in the Discord, just shoot me a DM. I can get you set up with that. But yeah, the levels are in there as well. And if you didn't learn levels from me directly, then you don't. I'm not saying this in the wrong way, but you don't know true levels yet, and like why certain levels are more important, etc. Right? Not all levels are created equal. Jake Paul should get KO'd, but like the market, what everyone thinks should happen often doesn't. Yeah, that's fair. That's valid. That's valid for sure. Here, I'll drop a link to the free Discord. The mentorship in total, there's like 300 plus hours worth of content in there, but the actual, because that's all the recordings of the previous live ones. But the actual mentorship itself is about 30 to 35 hours. It's all broken down into sections now inside of WAP. It's really nice. Yeah, it's separate. It's separate than the monthly subscription. Okay, yeah. If you learn the levels from Rake, then you'll learn a little bit more into the levels specifically. Like I mentioned, why specific levels over other levels? Because again, they're not all created equally. Do I watch any football? Occasionally. Like all of my friends do, which I did it one year. They do fantasy football and all this stuff. And it was cool just to do the draft, but I really didn't. I really don't care. Yeah, just shoot me a DM on Discord. Emily's cousin plays for the Colts at the moment, so we've been watching. We've been tuning in and watching that a bit more. See how his career unfolds. But yeah, for the most part, we don't really like. We're not the avid football watchers. No team flags or nothing flying outside the house. Her cousin's Riley Leonard, the Colts QB or backup QB, I guess. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Awesome. I got you, Orso. I got you. This market's stuck. Now let me ask you a question based on the daily time frame. What's your opinion on SPY cues for this week? I mean, I think we have to go lower first. So Hassan brought it up. I don't know if Hassan's still listening. But yeah, Hassan brought it up earlier, potentially like what end of week position we could put on for cues. And I don't think we're there just yet. But I think what would make sense, and I'll just pull up the cues here. Here, we'll do this. So what I think would make sense, is here's our daily chart, right? If you're specifically talking daily time frame. So we've got this 610-14 level in place. This has kind of been the area for us to kind of watch and pay attention to this morning to see if we can make a move lower from there, right? Which so far is holding us up. This day was really damaging. If we zoom in and take a look at this day was extremely damaging. And that was the short off the previous NASDAQ contracts, 467s and stuff that I did not take. It didn't quite look the way in which I wanted it to. Was looking for a little bit more of a retest later, etc. So yeah. Anyway, that bar I think is damaging, and if we're going to do the thing in which I think is that we'll kind of pull back here and we'll find somewhere in this range for us to hold. There is a pretty important level at 601.66s. Whether we can drop, another 9 points, 8 points from here, whatever it is, to get down there becomes the question. We don't necessarily have to get there, but if we were to get there, and it would have been better today to have gotten there on a big gap down, which we were closer in the overnight session, right? Like if we look at this 2-minute chart and turn the extended session on, that was kind of my initial, when I looked at quotes last night, I was like, oh, we're at 604, 605s. Like let's just continue to dump this down in here and we'll open up somewhere down here and trade this back up into 610s. Like I would have been more than okay with that having been the case, for us to do something with, but obviously it's not. So I think that is the thing that needs to take place first. And then from there, I think we'll end up seeing a rally somewhere down in here, whether it gets to 601.66s or not, I'm not sure. And then we can rally that back. So ultimately, I think this weekly bar ends up kind of turning around, maybe with a bottoming tail. Like if I could correct this bar and like here's where I think it ultimately ends up kind of doing. Let's just say it's something like this. And then I think the high ends up kind of coming up and maybe we trade like 623s. And let's just say the close ends up being 623s. Oops. And something like that. Now this bar is still like forming, so it's not going to like fully stick like I want it to. But you'll see it for like a split second. Maybe not. It's not letting me do it, but whatever. So yeah, that would be kind of how I think this plays out. How many trades do I take per year? A lot. I don't actually know the answer to that at the moment. It just depends. I mean, it's kind of a, I don't want to say it's an unnecessary question, but it's a very sliding scale question. Very sliding scale question. Because like during earnings season, like when we have really good earnings seasons, like there's 1, 2, 3 trades a day on the board, right? Now that only lasts for like a month, month and a half, and then it kind of slows back down, and you're looking at more 1 to 2 trade type things a day, and some days no trades, right? So if you were a scalper, then you probably have like 10 to 20 trades a day. You know what I mean? So like it just really depends. Like if you're a swing trader, you might only have like 1 to 2 trades per week, maybe per month. You know what I mean? So I don't want to say it's an unnecessary question. I just think it really depends on what type of trader you are, right? If you're a core position type of trader, then maybe you have 1 to 2 trades per quarter even at that point. So I think it just depends. I think I think the most I can remember um, was one of the 1099s or whatever the thing is they give you at the end of the year. It's not 1099, it's something else. They give you a 1099 too, but they give you something else through Toss, and it lists out every individual trade, like all the different tickers. So it'll give you the actual like options code or whatever. That book was like almost 700 pages, and there might be, I don't know, 20, 30 different tickers per page, basically. Maybe 15 on the low end. I don't know. There's some years that are like that are just, you end up with, and also you could say too, like maybe you take one trade, but you take 3 different options contracts, right? Like you take an at the money, you take a little bit further out of the money, and then you take a big lotto kind of at the end, right? You're putting the trade on all at the same time, but it's technically 3 different tickers, which is technically 3 different trades, and then you might take partials as you scale on your at the monies. If we hit the larger targets, you're taking some partials on the ones you've got further out of the money, and then those lottos you're just letting them rip, right? So yeah, it's kind of a hopefully that like answers your question, even though there's no definitive number there. No, I did a couple little scalps on a take profit account. That was it. I've just been chilling watching this. I liked the idea of potentially doing something in the Russell there, and then it just ripped out on us, got new highs and failed. So we'll leave that alone. And then same thing basically happened in the Nasdaq. This little early morning divergence off that 9:45 news announcement. But again, I think that lower first is probably still the thing. Yeah, Oscar. Yeah, I mean he does trade a couple other tickers, but primarily SPX as well. Yeah, I mean SPX is SPX, S&Ps, SPY. It's all the same thing, right? He's just trading a little bit larger of a size, so he uses SPX more so than SPY. Um, but yeah, I mean, if that's the thing is if you have a specific trade you're looking for, and like that's the only trade in which you take, right? Like if the only thing you're looking for is a daily pullback into a buy setup that is potentially reversing the trend on a weekly chart, and you're taking the first divergence inside of the new hourly uptrend that develops from that, like, so be it. Like, if that is your one specific trade, then, and your goal is to then day trade it and then try to swing the rest in order to catch the new daily uptrend and the reversal on the weekly, then by all means, it's a phenomenal trade and it works really, really well. But that trade is only going to come about certain times throughout the year in just the indices specifically, right? Because the first part of that is the catalyst that you need, which is the weekly pullback, right? So if we don't get a weekly pullback, well, then that specific trade setup isn't there. So, like, if that's the only trade setup you can take, you might get one or two trades a year. You know what I mean? If you're only looking at like SPX for that specific setup, which is why I think you have to have multiple setups and allow yourself the flexibility to trade other products as well. And the divergence, by all means, is always on the table for me. So, like, yeah, technically we could be long right now just purely based off the divergence from lows. And it would be up 70-ish odd points at the moment, just purely based on a 5-minute. He went through the same mentorship program, like legitimately same exact mentorship. I think he went through, was it 4? No, mentorship 5. He went through mentorship 5. So yeah, legitimately the exact same mentorship that's now broken down into all the sections as opposed to live. It's the same one he took. Who was first student in mentorship? Um, Let me see. He said me. I mean, Jake was one of the first in that when it was released. Let me see. Let me see. There's a man trying to get back to her love. I'm trying to find it. I don't know. I have to look. I released the first. I released the first kind of edition of it right in the middle of COVID. I want to say it was like right around Memorial Day. Was that 2020? Nope, it wasn't then. So, looks like the first. Looks like the first person was 7-5. So it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't. It was July 4th instead of. Yeah, that would have been 2020, right in the middle of COVID. Yeah, so July 5th of 2020. That was the first rendition, the first edition. Looks like maybe Caesar Guzman. was the first to sign up. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Is he still around? I don't know if he is or not because the system I used then, I don't have Discords. So I have no idea what his Discord would be. I mean, shit, I can look and see if actually, I'll tell you what, he would be moved over in the new system if he ever linked up his WAP with the email. Mm, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's in there. He joined the Discord initially April 1st of 2020. 5 years ago. It's crazy. Yes, sir. All right. Mark is doing this little teeter-totter nonsense. I got to tinkle real quick, and I'll be right back. Nobody go anywhere. All right. Well, market didn't really go anywhere. Oh, 11:11. What is the temperature outside? Not terrible. I'm honestly bored as well. I am bored as well. We got Russell new lows. I'm just working on this channel here in Discord at the moment. It is a little weird. I don't I don't know why they would do that. Market's coming right back down. Let's see. I'll do this. I don't love any of these fonts. What was the biggest individual name trade of the year? Netflix and Tesla. Netflix and Tesla. Biggest percentage trade was the car. That was the biggest percentage. That was actually the biggest percentage ever on a trade. Not the biggest trade necessarily, but the biggest percentage. That move right there. Oh, you're not looking at my weekly chart, but yeah. Did that come through in Discord? Apex said they're gonna extend the 90% off ends tonight, but they're gonna extend the lifetime PA fee until the 23rd. I almost feel like it's worth. I almost feel like it's worth buying a bunch of those if you like the 90% off, and then waiting until they do like another one of those $6 sales or something crazy on the PA fees. I almost feel like that's got to be worth it. 66% chance that Trump is projected to release the Epstein files by Friday. Time is 11:23. I might just call it a day. If this is gonna be what it is. Brett just said that apparently traders were able to see price action before it even happened on the Project X platform. I don't know how that's possible, but that's interesting. Interesting. All right, well, I'm gonna stick around for the next 4 minutes here till 11:30. But I'm honestly kind of over this. I expected a little bit more. This kind of looks like S&Ps want to keep pushing down there towards that 68.12. We did just reject off of opening print there. 68, 61s. We're down like 20 points off that. It's not terrible. But Russell new lows, nothing else on that last push. Guys don't love playing down into that divergence. All right. That's all I got for today. We look pretty range bound here. Market still got room to that 68.12s, another 30 odd points or so below here for S&Ps, but kind of looks like NASDAQ wants to stay stuck in this 230s to 321 area, give or take some small pushes one way or the other. So yeah, I'm gonna let this be, leave it as is. But yeah, anyway, that's what I got for you guys, and we'll be back tomorrow. See if this market wants to finally move. Like I said, I do think there is at least 1 or 2 trade opportunities on the week. If not, then I would not be here and do something else. But we're gonna give it like the first 2 hours or so each day. Maybe Friday we won't, just depending on what Thursday ends up doing here. But we'll kind of see. At the moment, OPEX, quad, witching, futures roll, all of those things. So yeah, not too much fun to be had at the moment. But anyways, appreciate you guys. As always, if you need me, feel free to reach out. And next week will be a little bit slow, obviously, with Christmas, and the following week as well with New Year's and all of that stuff. But we'll still be dropping some things in Discord and kind of chatting it up. Seeing if there's anything to do. I'd prefer if gold did not die today. That'd be great if it could stay relatively strong. But yeah, other than that, that's what I got. I will see you guys tomorrow. Don't get in trouble today. And yeah, I'll leave it at that.